What's up, assholes? Welcome back to the Call to Action podcast. I'm James.
Hey guys, it's Melissa.
And we have a new permanent addition to the cast. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. Nice to meet y'all.
All right, Kelsey, you are fairly familiar to everyone in the Action Army. But for those who maybe don't know you as well, just give a little information about yourself. How'd you get involved in the Schmoedown? How'd you come to the best team known imaginable? How did you get here?
All right. Well, in 2016, I wanted to find a non-spoiler review for Suicide Squad. So I found Collider. And through Collider, I found the Schmoedown. And I'll admit I was kind of more of a casual watcher for the first year or so I was watching. And then life stuff kind of went crazy, and I needed an outlet. So I started really watching the Schmoedown, and that's when Team Action just started. And I wanted to not like them, but I just couldn't. So like I was always a Face fan until then, and I'm like, these guys are so cool.
Boo! Boo!
Boo, our new cast member already.
I'm booing faces. God.
Well, I've switched teams over, okay? I'm good. So yeah, I've been watching since then, and then kind of when Team Action started their Civil War, I got really interested because I think that's a cool storyline. And then they started Action Industries, and I became a Patreon, and now that's my main form of entertainment.
Yay.
That's great. And with new members, we get new opinions. And luckily, we can be very hyper specific on one person this week. The person who actually matters, Janine the Machine. Currently fighting for my favorite competitor of all time, and we get a whole week dedicated to her.
It's great.
Melissa, you seem a bit hesitant about all this.
I'm just ready to talk. I know that I'm going to have some opinions that some people on this podcast are going to disagree with, and there's only 3 of us.
Melissa, I look forward to booing you, but first, new host Kelsey, what do you think of Janine?
I adore Janine. I like her camera presence. I think she's just like the sweetest person on Twitter. She's great. I adore Janine.
And we all adore Janine, isn't that right, Melissa?
We do. Genuinely, we do. But yeah, we'll get to it.
We're getting to it right now. Melissa, tell us what you think about Janine.
My opinion is more about the match than Janine, but yeah, we all really love her. She's been a member of the Action Army for as long as just about all of us, and how can we not love that? So yeah, we love her.
And speaking of her matches today, first of all, in the chat we have the print who wasn't promised, or that wasn't promised, sorry, and our own Danny Cost, slowly but surely getting these live chats up. #ActionLive. We are watching. The first match we got this week was the Paddington 2 versus the brand new, the future champions, the Time Machine. In what is arguably the best teams match of the year. Bit of hyperbolic, I understand, but it's still pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I really enjoyed it. The back and forth constantly, it was really entertaining. I really like Time Machine together. I feel like they're going to, as they progress, balance each other out pretty well. I'm excited to see where they go. So it was a really good match. I enjoyed it.
Agreed. I still agree with our new podcast mate. She is so smart. That makes 2 of us. But anyway.
At least there's 2 of us, right?
So anyway,
Melissa is coming in hot today with the insults. I mean, come on.
I'm just preparing for it.
I think we know who the heel is in the group.
I thought this was a fantastic match. I thought it was just superb. I didn't want it to end. It was so great. I saw some commenters say that they kind of wish that it was more of like an Iron Man style thing where each team answered in like sudden death versus like everyone answering in sudden death, which I would be like 100% for because I think the match would probably still be going if they did it that way. Probably like 50 to 49. I mean, it would just be insane. It was a great match. Where I falter is I feel and I'll kind of get to this in the second match.
Melissa, while you're doing this, don't forget to throw on your heel sunglasses to really fit the attitude.
My sunglasses are Mickey Mouse sunglasses, so I don't know how.
So what you're doing right now is Keaton Markey going heel, but continue.
Don't know how intimidating they are, but there seemed to be a lot of goofs, I thought, that I think had Christian been at the desk that he would have caught himself. That said, and the thing is, I think both of these teams are kind of just below the upper tier of the teams league. I think they could be both elite. I think they could be both like title contenders, but it's sort of on them to challenge. And there were some errors in the match that I saw that I thought Shire Rules would have challenged that. Odd Couple would have challenged that. Founding Fathers probably would have challenged that, or John Roca at least would have challenged that. So I feel like both of these teams are close to the upper echelon of the Teams League, but I think that kind of cutthroat willingness to challenge some of these spelling errors, writing errors, maybe saying a word not exactly how it should be said. I think that's what's keeping them from like elevating into that kind of elite tier within the league. So I love the match, and I want both of these teams to continue on. I think they will be great teams. I think that they should be kind of getting into that, playing the game mindset a little bit better.
All right, so you hate, happen to enjoy. In other news, the final score of this match was 32-33, with a double overtime reached.
Wow.
Yeah. It's to me it's hard to comprehend almost just that many correct answers, especially unless I'm mistaken. Most matches don't even get to 30 points, let alone continue this far. Actually, this is more like a question. Hopefully, you guys would know. Do you know if there's like a way to see like the all-time points record in a match? Because I just have a feeling that this was close to record-setting. No, okay then.
I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not sure.
All right. Where do you guys see Time Machine going next? I could say, like, personally, when they're on this, this 1-0 path, maybe Crimson Fury would be the next opponent. But from what they talked about, it said like this match was to get them in the tournament. So they could not play for another like 2 months until the team tournament starts up, and then they like just get thrown against the number 1 seed or whatever.
Yeah, that could.
Yeah. I would like to see them against either Founding Fathers, Who's the Boss, or the Odd Couple. I think they're right there in that sort of group. So I'd like to see them against one of those teams just to see how they fare against a champion. Which, I mean, I know that like that won't happen right away, but that's kind of the match I would want to see.
Yeah. Well, no, like in a tournament, they might get that. They're probably going to be like the 14, 15 seeds. That's pretty possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like to see them against them too. I think it would be a really fun match to watch. I'd like to see both of them up against a team like that. I think it'd be very entertaining.
Speaking, do you guys have any final thoughts on this match?
I just want to say I really liked Danielle at the desk. I've been enjoying seeing her there, and so I thought that was pretty cool to have her there.
All right, great. And Speaking of entertainment, we have something very entertaining. A trainer named Brandon Hanna wearing a top 10 shirt. What do you think about that?
Oh, any chance that he would be beloved by Call to Action was out the window when he showed up on the Schmoedown in a John Roca shirt. Like, at that point, you're done. You are done.
There is no second interview. There is no title shot. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
There is no coming back.
Done.
No.
I just hope it's laundry day, and I was like the only option other than wearing nothing.
Nothing would be better. I would rather be shirtless than represent John Roca.
I guess you have a point.
Although I will say there's something interesting today. Speaking of John Roca, because we need to have some hate segment every episode. There was a post that Christian made a couple days ago, like, who's heel of the year so far? And someone added John Roca. Like, how funny, and we voted for him. And this dude asked, why are Draco and Roca on there? And while I'm typing Roca, because he's Roca, Christian's like, I removed Roca. And then he responds to my comment, I removed Roca. I'm like, guess I'm getting banned soon. Let's go. But then, lovely friend of the show, Billy Belford, put up about 10 minutes ago on the page. Is there anyone in the Schmoedown who you root against as a person? Not who you don't like as a character. Who do you not like as a person? And I'm like, John Roca, send tweet. And I can't wait to be banned once again.
God bless.
And Danny added Roca back onto the heel of the year list. So let's get that campaign going.
Yeah. Now the question is he on face of the year list? Because he seems to be like on every list.
Yeah, he's next to the list.
Remember what happened last season, where it's like for half of the year he was on face of the year, for half of the year he was on heel of the year, so he could win both awards.
All the belts, all the records.
All the belts, all the records.
Okay, we didn't edit more for a reason, guys. We're not going to be spouting that heretic nonsense.
Win our award. All the belts, all the records is going to be invoked in some way.
No, you don't. No, you will not. if you do a face turn on stage, I swear to God. You know what? I'm going to leave out of frustration and leave you two to discuss the next match with both Janine the Machine and Mike the Killer Kalinowski.
Okay.
Yeah. So before we get to that, we're going to kind of do a combination. We're going to talk a little bit about the Viviani Whitney situation because that kind of was covered both in the first match and the second match. So we'll just kind of talk about it all at once. We saw Bibbs getting betrayed by
getting dumped.
Yes, and then we kind of saw on the concluded part of it, we saw Whitney just wanted nothing to do with Bibbs. So I guess my question is, it seems to be going that the kid and Bibbs are going to be a team. That seems to be the way they are promoting it. Is that a red herring? Are they tricking us? Or do you think that's the way things are going to go?
Yeah, I'd be interested to see them as a team. I think they would be pretty great. However, I can definitely see how it could be red herring. There's been a lot of things like that going on. So it's like, beat us this way, and then we'll have a big surprise later. I'm really interested to see what happens, because either way, I'm riveted.
Definitely. And it was exciting to see that Mark Hoyt, is it Mark Hoyt, is coming back to the Schmoedown. I think he was kind of a fan favorite when he was around last year. So to see him coming back is great. As far as Whitney and him being a pairing, we'll just kind of have to see how the chemistry works there. But yeah, it's great to have him kind of back in the Schmoedown ranks. So as far as both teams, Bibbs and to be determined. And then Whitney and Hoyt, do you foresee them being heel, face, in between?
I definitely think with the kid and Bibbs, that would be a face situation. They deserve. Bibbs has kind of really gone that way with things, and the kid is just the ultimate face. So then I think to play off of that, I think Whitney would definitely, his team would go heel, and I would love to see an eventual match between them because I think that would be pretty cool.
I think Whitney definitely has a very heel quality to him in a very team action-like way where he's distinguished and he's well-dressed and and that's exactly how our guy started. So, not every heel is cackling like a hyena, and I mean, like, not every heel acts like, dresses in black and wears a cowboy hat like John Roper. So, it's kind of cool to see. I think Whitney kind of embodies that sort of calculated heel turn. So, yeah, I definitely think that's the way it's going to go for sure.
Are you trash talking on my husband Whitney Seibold?
No, I just talked about how he's impeccably dressed and distinguished. Like, how is that trash talking?
Yeah, I feel like it was pretty positive.
Agreed.
Wait, did you guys talk about the match, or did you just jump right?
Just talked about the Bibbs and Whitney stuff. And you have anything to add to that, or match?
Like I said before, I think Bibiani should start his own faction. He should get Liz Miller and a bunch of other faces who don't really have a personality and sort of like cultivate something within them.
And who into the league? Do you remember him at all, or
who?
Hoyt, Whitney's new partner. Hoyt?
Oh, yeah, Mark Edward Hewitt. So we're getting the Self-Righteous Brothers back as a team. DJ Snack says hi, Melissa, myself, and Kelsey. So we have a fan. And I know someone said it before. Whitney would fit well in the family, and I don't want that, which is blasphemous to say. But I feel like he doesn't really fit the attitude, especially because he has this like very pretentious bravado about him, and like, it's just hard because I know personality-wise they might not fit well, even though I'm a big fan of the team. Yeah, I think they should sort of be on their own for the time being. No faction, no manager, just do their own thing.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, by the way, I see Snack's talking about it. I'm drinking a black cherry cream soda. No alcohol.
I love blackberry. Oh, I love blackberry soda.
It's so good.
Okay. We agree on literally one thing a podcast, and black cherry soda is the one today. So on to the Mike versus Janine match. Kind of the one thing I want to bring up or question or get your guys' opinion on is this whole like white bread, vanilla ice cream sort of thing that they're doing. The thing that kind of confuses me about that is I thought that persona was sort of embedded in Kalinowski when he was the whole Captain America, goody two shoes, play by the rule type of character. And since he went heel and went corruption and went like chaos in the league, I guess I'm confused why he would be called white bread or vanilla or anything like that, because he's the exact opposite of kind of the way he was when he earned that name. So I guess I'm wondering why Janine and Jay and the Time Machine referred to Kalinowski in that way. Do you guys have any ideas or?
Yeah, the way I kind of feel about it is when I watch that is, yeah, the whole white bread thing was more when he was a face. However, I kind of feel like it's more her showing this is still you're just playing big. You're still that white bread that you were before, and this is, you know what I mean? So it's more kind of a, this isn't you're being fake kind of thing.
You can't take
that makes sense.
You can't take goody two shoes out of the. Got it. I agree with that. That's a good. Paul,
the dark shadow has returned.
Hey, Paul.
Oh, are you there? I think we lost
I'm
him.
back.
Got him. Oh, wait. Yes.
Hi.
James, what do you think about white bread and vanilla?
So I was told about her using the white bread as a eraser, which is my favorite thing any competitor has done this entire season. I loved her shirt. I think she so I said it in the live chat today. This is the first impressive win Mike has ever gotten, and it was under her extremely lucky circumstances. Because his 2 singles victories prior to this were Ashley Robinson, Miss Movies twice, and someone else who I don't remember. Meanwhile, his 4 losses.
Though, right? Like you don't mean like everything, right?
I mean in singles.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he's lost to Rachel Cushing, JTE, Paul, Queenie, and then someone else I forgot. Oh yes, thank you. Cool guy in the chat says Josh McCouga is the 4th. So again, he hasn't had any impressive victories. I think Janine is the first legit opponent that he's faced, and the fact that to beat her, he needed spinners and opponent's choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just it's.
I don't want to say that he needed it because, I mean, you don't really know what would have happened if he would have spun like a normal category and she would have spun a normal category. I mean, who knows? But
if they, I think their level of play is pretty comparable, if not Janine the advantage. Okay, Paul is hopefully back this time.
So for me, kind of carrying over from that first match that I was talking about. So I thought that the John Favreau thing, the way it was spelled by Mike, I thought was a challengeable spelling. I don't I know that they're leaning at our spelling, but I think that kind of rose to the level of I would probably challenge that because it was a bad enough spelling of it that it kind of changed the whole pronunciation of the
Whole
name.
word. Mm-hmm.
It changed the name. Even though he knew. I would kind of ask you guys your opinion on, I noticed between the last match and this match, people are whipping their whiteboard around super fast and then whipping it back around super fast. They're not really giving the other team or the moderators a chance to see their spelling. They're kind of just going super fast. And even Ethan Irwin in the match before, I think he wrote Field of Dream. I think it was singular and not Field of Dreams. And I mean, that again is kind of a challengeable thing. Mm-hmm. So I guess, do you think we'll see any changes in kind of the pace of the match, or do you think they'll be directed to kind of hold their answers out a little bit longer, or do you think that's just going to be a strategy within the Schmoedown kind of from here on out, is how quickly can you show your answer and turn it around before it is caught?
Yeah, I definitely could see that being a strategy. I have noticed that too. One thing about the challenges too, I feel like that is something that needs to be used more. I feel a lot of other competitors don't use the challenges as much as they could. A lot of matches never even have a challenge that probably could have had multiple. And I just feel like certain players should be a little bit braver about using them, because then you might get you a point. You know, every point counts. So I would have probably challenged it.
I think the issue with trying to make that like a big part of the game is you suddenly get another Jane Fonda or it wasn't Jane Fonda, it was a different match, I forget. But it was someone whipped the board around, answered, and then immediately erased it, so there's no right answer. So suddenly, if you cannot prove there's a right answer and you need to go back and double check the footage, and it's too blurry, competitors either lose a point or they gain a new question. Either of which is sort of endangering the game. Because I see people using the JTE or at least since it's been implemented, the JTE rule being its own strategy to the game. I don't think for all intents and purposes, lying about an answer is going to become part of the game. And if it does, I can guarantee you Christian's hammer is going to come down.
Christian will lose it.
Yeah. I just noticed it just seemed like, and it could be, I don't know, maybe it could be that they're trying to move the matches along so quickly, but I just did notice, like, just these last couple of matches, they seem to be really speeding through round one. And yeah, I could see how it could lead to maybe a match-changing decision down the road. So, as far as Mike and Janine, I thought Janine did obviously great in round one. Something I've noticed about Janine is she seems to be super great in round one. Round two and round three are kind of a 50-50 thing where it just depends on the category. So I think she's definitely studying like IMDb pages, directors, actors, and I think she's definitely studying those and getting those super, super good. But I think when it comes to round two and round three, when the questions get a little bit more specific to the movies and things like that, I think that's kind of where she has a little bit of trouble. So, but I mean, her strategy is great because I think if it comes to round one, if she can get a 7, 8, a perfect round or whatever, she can go into round two with a lead. I mean, that's a great strategy to have. So, I kind of see what she's doing, and I think it's going to work more times than it's not. So, yeah, I don't know what you guys think that is her weakness, is her strength, where you can see that she can improve, or kind of what you think of her gameplay.
Yeah, I think she just needs to study in certain categories for sure. We all have our categories we're a little weaker in. Especially with categories that come up a lot, you do have to do a deep dive in those categories because the questions are deeper cuts. So I just think just keep doing what she's doing. She'll build up that knowledge, and then soon the whole wheel will be easy for her. I could see that happening with her. She's a very strong competitor. I think just keep at it, keep grinding, and she's gonna get there.
Agreed. And were either of you guys surprised that Kalinowski didn't go back to the 80s on the opponent's choice?
I am surprised that we haven't heard more from Paul yet.
Well, that's
Mr. Dark Shadow.
And I couldn't hear a damn thing you guys were saying. All I heard was.
Well, that's what we were saying the whole time, Paul.
Yes.
I don't speak bocce.
So. Paul, what do you think of the matches this week?
Well, the Paddington and the Time Machine match, I kind of had on in the background. I could only kind of breeze through it, but it was pretty impressive how quickly. I mean, that's a big score for those two teams to hit. So they're pretty impressive. But Ashady and Duralde have always been good, but they're always kind of like, I feel like they're kind of like almost like rentals. They're not really invested in the Schmoedown. They have like great knowledge, but I can't see them ever. It's almost like they're a good team to challenge yourself against, but they're not going to get very far because they just don't. I don't know if they care about it, but they don't really care about the event. They just have great knowledge, so it's a good testing ground for the Time Machine to really prove their worth, and they did a great job. They did a hell of a job. Janine, I know we were talking about the machine already, and Janine is, I think, one of the most criminally underrated players in the game. She has had a shit ton of luck. Like at the wrong time, which we'll get to it in a minute. But so I think that her and Ethan together could be a lot more challenging than people might think, and I think this is the first step to prove that. I'd love to see them go up against the Whitney Mark combination coming up. That's what I'd like to see go against next. Myself, yeah. As far as the next one, if we're into, I don't even know where you guys were because I was hearing.
We're here. You're good.
Okay. Again, it's the same fucking thing. It's spinner's choice, opponent's choice. How can you? I mean, Janine and Kalinowski are pretty evenly matched, but when you have that go against you, I mean, no one can win that. It's almost impossible to win that. So that's what I mean by shit ton of luck. And it seems like everything always happens to her that way. There's always there's always something that goes down against her. Kind of like I said before, kind of happens to Ben a lot in the big events. There's always one little thing that goes against it that doesn't go against anybody else in a way. It's that luck factor that's got to give eventually. You got to figure it's got to give at some point. And when it does, and like the wheel turns, so to speak, no pun intended, but I did, you're going to see something fierce from Janine, I think.
I agree.
I want to point out one thing. Everyone keeps mentioning Janine is the most underrated player in the league. I think that's a lie. If everyone's calling her underrated, wouldn't she be properly rated at this point? Like, to me, I separate it into two camps: best player who's ever won a belt, and underrated. They are separate because there's so much overlap. You need to separate them. Janine is one of the best without a belt. I think she will get it in the next year. Whether that be teams or in singles, she can get it. Now, if you want to talk underrated, I give you Rachel Silvestrini. Because I swear to God, someone asked about the most underrated players, and everyone said Janine. And I get it. She is amazing. I'm not arguing that. But when you have a player who literally nobody mentioned, and who's had perfect round 2 so far, and 6-point average in round 1, that is amazing. And everyone forgets about it because she's on a subpar team. Not even subpar. They just put up against the best opponents possible.
I see what you're saying, but I think you're kind of you have like a black and white scenario here. There's best without a belt, criminally underrated. I think, like, in a way, I see what you're saying. Janine at one point was very underrated, and maybe now she's, in your mind, in the other category. I think there's probably something more of an in-between. Like, she kind of like went from underrated and is on that journey to getting to that other category. But I don't know if she's quite there yet. But I think people are. I see what you're saying. I don't disagree that it's starting to be that way, that she's not as underrated as she was. I think everybody is starting to just realize that she is good, and she's not quite there yet. Because if you put her up against the big shots in the league, you almost still think that, well, she's maybe here, whereas they're here. Now, she used to be like here, so she's kind of like on that, almost there. Still think she's underrated, but I don't disagree with their point. Rachel Silvestrini is the bomb, and she is very underrated. So she might be more underrated at this point. That's an argument you could definitely make. But.
Wise words from someone in a Boston Red Sox hat. So, you know.
Hey.
Red Sox fan. Defending world champion, Boston Red Sox hat.
As the man who witnessed Spinners and opponents in person in Houston, and the person who also made sure Silvestrini didn't get too drunk at the after party, I think we can trust Paul's opinion on this entire week. Oh, so cool guy in the chat says Haley is underrated as well. I'm going to agree with you, and I very much look forward to our singles match next week, I think, around there.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so too.
She is someone who I want to be in about like 5 times as many matches as she's already in.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Every time I've seen her, she's been great.
Yeah. I loved having Dan at the desk. I don't know if this is the first time Dan's been at the desk, but it's the first time in a while. Him comparing Jay Washington to Carrot Top was literally like the best moment of probably the last 3 months of my life. Between Dan Merle and him calling Jay Washington Carrot Top, it was everything.
Dan at the desk was so much better than I thought. Not that I didn't think it'd be good, but he was on fire at the desk. He was really funny.
Yeah, he was great.
Before. I like to see that. I like seeing more people at the desk. I like seeing the different avenues. I'm preaching to the choir here, but I'd love to see Drew at the desk. I think Guy at the desk would be hilarious.
I would love to see Guy at the desk.
Agreed. Yeah.
If Guy was at the desk, he wouldn't be doing anything other than saying he should be winning the match.
I mean, I could just see him like literally after every question turning it into like some kind of
whatever. Like, hey. he'd turn into like the guy in like the old quarterback in high school who's reliving his glory days. It's like, if I got that question in my match against Dan Murrell, it would have been a harder knockout. Or if I got that question in Houston, man, they would have got a chair to the head, blood everywhere. It would have been amazing.
It'd be something like somebody would be in the realm of knockout.
Yeah.
Like,
and then he'd pull the case of beer from the table and just open it with his bare hand and start taking drinks.
Yeah. Or he'd make a reference to Champ's Lunch, literally, like, probably every second question.
Oh, you mean like Paul is right now?
Oh, man.
Y'all's in the chat.
I can't see the group.
Hi. Well, I hate to dark shadow and run, but I actually have to go to work. I wanted to pop in just to say hey for a couple minutes and drop some knowledge that is great or ridiculously dumb, depending on where you sit, but probably somewhere in the middle.
It was all right.
So I love being on. Yeah,
you're gonna miss the best part, Paul. The ice cream.
The ice cream.
The ice cream.
Say that before I go. Oh, God.
The lactate, as she put it.
That was quite I don't know what the word is here. Mike was really getting into that ice cream. That's all I gotta say about that. He was really getting
You were enjoying it.
Find someone to look at you the way Mike was looking at that ice cream.
Goals right there.
With that, my friends, I gotta sign off. But it's always great to be popping on a little bit. I hope I can get on more and try to find my crazy schedule. But I know I'm coming up soon. I got a plan to me and Belford to get out at some point soon also. But for now, love you guys. Peace.
Bye. Bye. Oh, yeah. And we kind of lost James too for a minute, but yeah, going back to that post match, I'm struggling to remember Janine's part of the post match because Mike's was so memorable. So yeah, I mean, what do you think about as far as corruption and their sort of solidarity and their enjoyment of just kind of props and getting into the post match and everything like that? We had the what was the last time? It was the Orange Crush last time. This time they had ice cream. So yeah, I don't know if this is going to be their new shtick or but yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yep, that seems to be his thing now. Got to bring food to the post-match interview.
His thing, and maybe we'll get Adam Gertler back, and he will be eating sausages, and
that will be great. It'll become a gift.
If you guys want, I do have a history on where that ice cream came from.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so back before Janine even debuted, what really started going after she challenged him after her first win against Bonnie Somerville. She started running. So she started running with the gift of like challenging him, whatever, and then it started to sound like he was flirting with her. So then I stepped in and said, "Hey, you're flirting with her," and I don't know what it was, but she ran with it, and the gift that she used every time he came at her was white vanilla ice cream being drowned in chocolate sauce. And I have lost the pictures of it, but I had a whole like history of it because it was amazing. How he's gonna eat her or devour her or something, and it's just getting progressively weirder down the line. And then it came to today.
And today, man, that the glorious climax of that storyline.
I would have loved to see those GIFs.
Melissa, no. I brought you into this world. I could take you out, damn it.
Tell us in the comments why it's GIF and not GIF. Down below, that would be awesome.
Don't pronounce it Wait. No, wait. You don't pronounce it a gift. It's a gift.
It's Jeff.
Okay. Anyway. That would be one of the best moments of the year for me. Him just eating the ice cream. And it's like, oh, this isn't quite right yet. And I see him pull the chocolate sauce and just...
I was waiting for Jay Washington to come in and just
So Mike Kalinowski. This is like if Mike Kalinowski was a movie. You put this on the box, the DVD. Mike Kalinowski is the Robert Downey Jr. of the Schmoedown, where he hides food everywhere and just eats it, and no one can stop him. It started with the Orange Crush and Collision. We have the ice cream now. I don't know what he's going to eat for the Ben match, but look forward to him just eating on camera. It's like, no, I don't care.
Yeah. Speaking of the post match, we did have a sighting from Ben Bateman. We saw him challenging him. Did you feel like this challenge was sincere? Did you feel like he's still not quite bought into the 5 Horsemen philosophy yet? He just doesn't seem to have the judge that he did when he was with Team Action. And Team Action, when he was talking, the judge. With Team Action, when he was talking trash, I mean, he was one of the best. But when he came into that interview, it was kind of weak. I'm gonna admit it. So, do you guys think he's lost his touch, or what are your explanations for his post match?
I feel like deep down he knows he's a heel and he needs to be a heel, and he is having a hard time not being that way. So it's, you know what I mean? Like, he's new to the face game, and he's got that battle of trying to balance both, and it's coming out in the post-credit interviews. It's just, I don't know.
Let me just... I want to encapsulate my opinions as loud as I possibly can.
Okay.
Turn the volume all the way up.
Boo! What are you booing? Are you booing me or Ben?
I'm booing Ben. God. Listen, I only boo you when you pronounce it Jeff. No, just so on that poll that went up earlier today, talking about the people who you would root against because they're people, or the least, I forgot how exactly Billy phrased it. I remember that Snyder and Roca are my bottom 2 players. And below them, who I love as a person, is Ben Bateman. Because he will never get my sympathy for breaking up Team Action, betraying him to be with the Horsemen, and then hitting Guy with a chair in Houston. And the second he threw up that 5, and I will not do it, because I refuse to have my hand in that exact configuration, he has left us. So no, I don't buy that Ben is genuine in his emotion. I know deep down he is a filthy human being who needs to be stopped. I don't know why I turned into a 90s action villain, but
That is definitely a nice action villain.
But that's better.
Snacks in the chat says, I need to do more curls before I put someone through a table. And that I'm a wuss because I won't hold up a 5. No, I am a loyal damn American.
Anyway, I still have faith in Ben. I still have faith that he is looking at the long game. He's playing the odds, and he's going to change the game from the inside. That's my hope. Okay. Hello.
Yeah. Take them down from within.
Speaking of that, I'm just gonna say this. Our viewers are traitors. The cool guy and the prince who wasn't promised are both Horseman fans. In which case, what are you doing here? I love that we have fans. But stop it. Get some help.
But James, think of it this way. If Ben could break up the Horsemen, and he could bring, let's say, Dan Merle and Riley to Team Action, and then Team Action has a faction, wouldn't that be worth it?
Tell me when that happens. Well, no, not when. If it happens, if Ben Bateman decides, hey, I'm gonna get a brain for once, I will gladly apologize for everything I've said. But until
Well, then
then,
you do that.
exactly as his moniker describes him, a bitch.
We have faith in Ben. I have faith in you.
I do too.
I have no faith in anybody. I lost faith when my team 6 Degrees just disappeared. Because both of them decided to join the ranks of Mike, KO, White Vanilla Pudding Kalinowski.
Speaking of Mike, I hate to go back to him, but I'd like to take the time to formally invite him on our show. We've really, we've been trying to get him to join us for a while now, and he's been kind of a chicken. So I think now would be a great time for him to join us. Now that he's on a high, now that he's facing one of our dads.
One of our mortal enemies.
I think it's time for Kalinowski to join us. So definitely all y'all just tweet him, message him, tell him he needs to go on call to action and defend himself. Let us know why we should root for him over Ben, because he's facing an uphill fight.
Mr. Kalinowski, as I have talked trash on you for the past 6 months and said that you would lose literally every match you've been given, I do humbly request that you come on our show. Because, if nothing else, my goal is to ruin our chances at the Schmoedown Awards and want to somehow tank our show and get us canceled. Including the fact that, okay, this actually isn't a joke. Smets watched our episode last week and he got angry at me for not saying that he invited me to Collision. So yes, Kevin Smets invited me to Collision.
He was Kevin's date. We tried to tell him to tell you, but...
Correction, I was Kaiser's date because of logistics. And you know what? I'm happier that way because I want a man who will yell at me just as much as I will yell at him.
It's like a healthy relationship.
Okay. Any final thoughts on Mike Kalinowski and Janine the Machine?
Other than just where do we see Janine going from here as far as her singles career? Who would you want to see her face? I know we talked a lot about Mike. We haven't really talked much about Janine, but
I think at this point Mike's in the singles tournament. And because right now his goal is to be the first triple belted, so I have no doubt that he's gonna really push to get that done. Mm-hmm. So here, looking at the rankings right now. Actually, we're probably gonna have a 16 seeds tournament at this point. Sorry. Right now, Mike is at 9, and Janine is at 10. Following the loss, Janine would probably fall to 14 or 15. Mike's going to get up to either 7 or 8. So at this point, Janine's next match will probably be against either a rematch against Chance, a match against JTE, or Andrew. So she's not getting given much.
Yeah, they'll probably have some play-in matches, and I suppose if she's that, at that ranking, she'll probably be in one of the play-in matches, would be my guess.
How would you guys feel about a 4-way play-in match between her, Brendan Meyer, Lon Harris, and David Del Rio?
Who's the second one you said?
Lon Harris.
I think that would be great. I'd like to see her in a one-on-one match because I think one-on-one she has probably a stronger chance. But yeah, I think it'd be fun.
I agree. I just want to watch her compete, so put her in any match at this point.
I think she has really good chances of competing in the singles tournament, assuming it's a 16 seed. Just not sure because it also looks like the teams tournament might be a 16 seed.
Yeah. Now we did see in the post match that Corruption did mention something to Janine about if she ever wanted to join a real faction, she could join Corruption. What did you guys think of that? Did you take it very seriously? Do you think there's a chance Janine could leave Jay's faction? If you do you think Corruption is a chance that she would land there? Or okay?
My heart would hurt if she joined Corruption. No, I don't think it's in Janine to go that way. I think whether she changes factions at all, maybe, but not Corruption.
I can see her in the family. If she were to leave Jay's faction, I could definitely see her joining the family. That seems, the family does need to grow. Corruption clearly doesn't need to grow. So she would be a great addition to the family, I think.
Well, it's like putting her in Corruption is sort of her antithesis because she's already had rivalries with Stacy and Mike and Chance. Like most of that faction, she's just been against.
Yeah, she's been at war with that whole faction.
Like honestly, I could her joining the family makes the most sense. I'd assume Erwin would probably leave her and then team up with Liz. From there, she would 100% need to have a teammate. I just have no idea who it would be. But yeah, I could see her betraying Jay and joining the family sometime, but not soon because they are honestly they're probably my actual favorite manager player combination. Only because they actually have a very close personal bond and not just a competitor bond.
I can see that.
Now, if she were to leave, do you think that would basically dissolve Jay's faction? Do you see other people jumping in to be managed by him, or do you think that would pretty much kind of put a nail in the coffin of Jay's?
Well, no one is really joining the Time Machine faction, if they're going to call it.
Right.
So, maybe Brandon Hanna, who's in the chat right now, I see you. There's nothing to really do there.
Boo! Boo!
Booing a hitman, man, that sounds sketchy.
Speaking of the chat, just so I can go through it, Cool Guy thinks, or not Cool Guy. So Danielle thinks that Mike can get 2 out of the 3 belts, but probably can't get the team's belt. And then Cool Guy says teams is more likely than singles, which is an interesting conversation we could have. And then DJ Snacks and Danielle both think that Janine should go to the dungeon.
Ooh.
I could see that.
Yeah. And do you think that maybe her and Smets could be on a team?
I would put her and Paul.
But then you have Zipper, and he's left all alone. and okay, I will say, now that I know him now, I actually feel bad saying this because he's a really nice guy. But then we're going to have more of a whiny Zipper of just, I'm alone, I don't have any friends, I want to compete. And that's just his, bravado when he's not with somebody. And I really look forward to his match next week, being able to actually, be a part of the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just don't know on Zipper, obviously part of his arc is going to be gaining confidence and becoming, this competitor, this really like competitive person that he's not right now. Hopefully that's part of his arc. I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing him ever getting to that point. So I just don't know if it's going to be one of those things where, like Robert Meyer Burnett, like how he never quite fit in with the Lions. Then he just never quite fit in with them. So I don't know if Zipper is going to be one of those things where he's around for a while, but he just never quite works, or if he's going to evolve and become this like titan of the showdown. So I don't know, but I am excited to see his match for sure.
While we're talking about the dungeon, we have one more thing to talk about. The undercard for the San Diego live event has been announced. It is the wonderful Kevin Smets against Adam Olavic. Being that Smets is coming off a loss and Olavic coming off a win, this is an interesting matchup. How do you see it going?
I think Smets is just eating to be back in match after what happened at Collision, and I think he's going to bring it, and I think he's got it.
I agree. I don't think it's going to be close. I think he's going to. I don't want to say that he's going to have a TKO or anything like that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's not going to be close. Unless Adam, who I like, I'm not going to go so far as to call him bleh, but
real strong.
It's apathetic.
But I mean, unless he has been like studying hardcore, maybe he comes out just completely like a different person. I mean, like that happened to Kalinowski, to be honest. I mean, Kalinowski was okay at Energy-Dom. He was good. He wasn't great. And then like he kind of, he went into super studying mode, and then, he is what he is now. So, if Adam, does that, if he goes into super studying mode, and he comes back as like this just force to be reckoned with, I won't be shocked if that happens. But unless that happens, I don't think it's going to be particularly close.
Yep.
James, what is your opinion between the glorious Adonis that is Kevin Smets, in your mind at least? And
in my mind, it's just like, God, I respect Kevin Smets so much. He is amazing, and I would do anything to help him win. I think Smets has about an 80% chance to win. And that's only because Adam is a legitimately dangerous competitor. It's hard to say because Olavic is consistently like a 7, 8, 9 point competitor. And the biggest thing I said about Smets in the match before Collision, or in the episode before Collision, is how he holds up in round 3. And that will be the deciding factor, because I don't think it'll be a TKO. Mm-hmm. Unless Smets can get opponent's choice over him and give Olavic whatever his weaknesses are, I wouldn't know. I don't pay attention enough to care about him. It'll be another down to the wire match. It'll probably be end of a 3-pointer because it's not exactly like caliber, but whatever. It's tough, and I think if Smets loses here, I wouldn't say he assesses the situation, but more so he retools his strategy. And we might see him in Teams League. We might see him in singles. Who knows? But I think if he loses in San Diego, his shot at a title is all but done.
Ouch. Burn. I wouldn't go.
No, that's nothing against him. It's just the availability of matches. Pretty soon we have the singles tournament starting up and the teams tournament starting up. probably won't be an Intergeekdom tournament because you have to prioritize Brandon Hanna, Chance Ellison, and Chandru Dhanpani because they're all amazing. Smets just might go on a back burner unless he gets another chance to beat somebody like a Brandon Hanna. He might not get there if he loses in 14 days.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that, but I think the Intergeekdom League is so small as far as the elite players that I think he's always going to have a chance. But and also something we're not talking about is what happens if you have some people drop out, because I mean that's kind of how Kalinowski really got his title shot. Was we had Inman drop out, we had Mara drop out. I mean, like if we get a couple of the big players that leave the league this year, I mean that is a chance for Smith to step up. But I'm not even thinking that way right now because I don't think he will lose. I don't think he's in the fantasy though. But so I'm not even gonna think that way. But yeah.
Oh, so speaking of future matches, Brandon Hanna in the chat. He says, Smets can try to beat me. It wouldn't end well. When your name ends up on my hit list, it gets crossed off, plain and simple. You barely don't get too high and mighty, Hannah.
Kevin Smith will pick you up and put you in a trash can. So I really would not put him on your hit list because
Kevin Smith is the reason we are having these earthquakes in California.
Because he's training so hard.
He hit a wall so hard after you had to watch Catwoman and Daredevil back to back for the 10th time this month. Do not mess with the Smasher. And I'm turning into some random dude from The Rock again.
We're blaming him for the earthquakes. Have you felt the earthquakes, James?
Oh yeah, so I was watching Midsommar last night, and in the middle of a really scary scene, the theater felt like it was on its side, shaking back and forth like a tree in the wind.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's a great place to be at with an earthquake.
Well, it was great because again, it was in the middle of a scary moment, and I turned to the guy next to me like, "This is 4D, man."
Oh my gosh! Nah.
I think that's all the notes we have on the matches this week. Is there anything you guys wanted to add to the situation?
I can't think of anything.
Not really.
And thank you to Kelsey for being a great new presence on the show.
Yeah.
Look forward to having you on more. You are very vibrant, not only in your hair, but also your
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been great.
And where can people find you on social media?
I am on Twitter at @KelseyKins90, and I believe Instagram under the same name, or you can find me on Facebook under my name, Kelsey Kirkland.
And Melissa?
Well, you can find me on Facebook on the Action Army page and then maybe Trivia Schmoedown page. Also, I forgot to mention that just to remind y'all to celebrate a very important day today is National Fried Chicken Day. So I forgot to partake today, so I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow. But
so, fun fact: it is also National Kissing Day today. Just don't do the same at the same time.
Kiss your fried chicken. But my reason for bringing that up is #Schmoedown Nashville. Okay, you James.
All right. Before I go, I had an announcement and I forgot to say it, and I forgot what it is. But you should, just a little announcement before. Hopefully, my brain realizes what I'm supposed to say. Right. I have a match dropping, hopefully in the next week or so, on the Movie Trivia Face-Off page. If you are put on Patreon, on the $2 level or above, you are allowed to compete. It is the Schmoedown Discord League, and we are hoping to make it the minor league of the Schmoedown. So if you want to compete in Schmoedown in the future, please get on that, get a match, come in, be prepared to lose to me, and I look forward to seeing you there. Also, keep an eye out on this channel. In general, next week, we are looking to have 2 interviews next week with people who I will not say the name to keep the surprise going. But let's just say it's going to get a little creepy up in here. But you can find me on Twitter at Temecula Film Guy. This is at TEMECULA Film Guy. You can also find Ben and Andrew on Twitter at The Bateman Media and at That Andrew Guy. Same for Instagram as well. Follow them on the Action Industries YouTube channel, where you can see episodes of The Action Guys dropping every Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, as well as the Action live streams every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And starting in probably around 24 hours from right now, there will be the Action Live 200. 200 minutes of Ben and Andrew talking about their lives. I will have wine and tequila at the ready.
Me too. Super stoked.
So please check out the Team Action Patreon. We get a lot of amazing content, like episodes of The Action Guys early, as well as access to some Schmoedown behind-the-scenes videos. I think that's it. I always forget something every week. Like you said, big plug for Movie Trivia Face Off. They are what I'm pouring way too much effort into right now. Check them out. It's awesome. Check out Action Industries' YouTube channel because I can say as part of the crew, we do a lot of work and we are proud of it. And please just do everything you can to get involved. I think that's it. Action Movie Anatomy on Monday is Spider-Man Far From Home. Keep an eye out for all of us in the chat spoiling the hell out of it because it was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Peace out.
Bye.